All right, let's do one where 0 is not given to you. So exact same video as last one. Watch part 1. Part 2, we are finding the equation from a table when 0 is not given. So our equation that we're talking about is slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And again, we should be singing the song and doing the dance and all of that jazz. So notice how there are 4 variables. We know that m is slope, and we know that b is y-intercept. Well, we always just leave it x and y alone, but they do mean things. It means if I put in a -6 here with this slope and this intercept, I'm going to get a -4. So this, what I put in here, what I put in the dependent, determines the outcome of the independent, which means if I put this in, I should get this. If I put this in, I should get this. So the problem that we have is we don't know what the b is, and we don't know what the slope is. So let's try the slope first. So slope, as we talked about in the last video, is rise over run, or change in y over change in x. So we're going to just make a little work area over here. Change in y over change in x. So first our change in y. Now, here's a really important thing, and I feel like I already know this is going to maybe go bad on a quiz, so I'm trying to preemptively stop it. -4 to -9 is a -5. And I know that might seem silly. You're like, well, no, duh, I'm getting more negative. But it's math. These are the little errors you're going to make. I promise you, y'all are going to get the concept. Everyone's going to have their arrows. And it's going to be little things like this. So -4 to -9 is a -5. You're getting more negative. So -9 to -14, -5, -14 to -19, -5, and -19 to -24 is -5. So my change in y, again, great example. I don't have to deal with any proportional relationships. The entire left side is -5. So under change in y, I'm just going to write -5. All I did was find my change in y and put it right there where it says change in y. Change in x. Now, notice how these numbers are getting smaller. -6 to -5 is a positive 1. I'm going up 1. I know the numbers go down, but I'm getting less negative. I'm going up 1. So all of these go up 1. So I'm going to put under change in x up 1. And again, this is not the simplest form of this fraction. When you're plotting, you will go down 5 over 1, down 5 over 1. But this is not the simplest form of this fraction. So m equals -5. So I'm just going to rewrite my equation over here so we're all on the same page. Y equals m, -5, x plus b. Okay, so we've gotten rid of 1 variable. We still have 3 left. Well, the handy-dandy part of this is, oh snap, look, I have an entire table of x and y values. So you can pick any x and y values you want and plug them in there. Any from the table. Don't just like pick a random x and y, but any from the table, and then plug them into here. So I'm gonna just pick whatever. I'm feeling like a 4. Let's say a 4. I'm feeling a 4 vibe. Okay, so my y, and be very careful, again, this is an error I can see happening, just doing -4 equals -5, whatever. You're going to put them in the wrong place. So let's nip that in the bud. So y is -14. So I'm literally just going to take my y and replace it with -14. I say literally so much. -14 equals -5 times x. Well, x is -4. So I'm going to replace my x with -4. And I don't have, in a y-intercept, the x value is 0. I don't have an x value of 0. So I have to solve for it by plugging in an x and a y. Now, a lot of you, I promise you, y'all are going to be tempted to go, okay, well, this is -1 and this is 0. So if I go up 1, I go up 1, and then I go down 10. Like, I promise you, okay, yeah, mathematically that works out, but there are going to be ones where it's like a half. It's just going to get kerfluffled, and that's not algebraically what we want you to do. I'm so proud of you for finding that pattern. That's brilliant. It's beautiful, but that's not what we're doing. So I don't want you to fill in the pattern. Please do not find the pattern and then solve it using that way. Plug in the variables. That's the concept you're learning how to do. So again, so proud of you for finding it. Don't do it. These are my pajamas. Okay, so -5 times, well, okay, so I have -14 equals -5 times -4 plus b. So many negative people. All right, so I'm going to take -14, and I'm going to do -5 times -4, which is going to give me a positive 20 plus b. So now I have this guy over here, I have this guy over here, and then I just have a variable. So I still need to isolate b. So I'm going to move my 20 over, and that's positive, so I'm going to subtract him. Subtract 20, gets rid of that guy. Well, negative 14 plus negative 20 equals negative 34. So B equals negative 34. You are not done. That is not the answer. Do not tell me that B equals negative 34. That's great. I asked you for the equation. So you're now going to write Y equals M, negative 5, X plus B. Well, B is a negative, so I'm just going to write minus 34. That's plus a negative, which is a minus, because doesn't negativity overpower? Which is rude. So that is how you solve plug in an X and a Y and solve for B.